Hello Multiverse, welcome to Omniverse Gamers. My name is Damien Bizzaio. This video is going to dissect another dynamic encounter. This is part 2 of Frog Puzzle Gone Wrong. This is Frog Puzzle Gone Right, second attempt. If you watched the video before that, you'll see there was a puzzle encounter that I had designed with this map here that was made by Dr. Mapso. We put the map up here. It's so you have these 5 little streams and this water in the middle, and my goal was to have them have to stop the water, because the clue that they had was without water, the gate maker cannot be. And the monster they were fighting happened to be the gate maker. They didn't make that connection the first time for reasons, so they didn't really know they had to stop the water, so just the whole encounter kind of broke down, and it was a TPK. They died. The 3 of them died. And I was like, oops. But, you know, it happens. But because of the nature of this game, it's an asylum game, it's a dream sequence, so they woke up in their beds like, oh my god, did that really happen? That sucked. And they were mad at me as the DM, they were mad at the world. It was, you know, all in character, it was all really fun. It was a really fun way to die without actually dying. So next session, there's this little boy that they have who gives them these clues, and he's the one that's been sending them on these dream missions to try to help them. They're trying to all escape the asylum, and these little missions that they go in the dream sequences to give them the powers and the tools to help them in the actual asylum world. That's going to help them get out in the future, or, you know, it's all connected. So upon the failure of last time, they kind of like, oh, what did we do wrong? That sucked. We have to, you know, there's more. There's something about the water. The gate maker, something about the water. We have to do something with the water. There's obviously more to this encounter than just going in there and killing that frog. So let me go to my side view, and I'll show you how this one went. Now, this is obviously looks just like the first one. So this time they come into the tunnel. Now they have a couple things. They have this little pencil they can write in this book. And it's a magical pencil, and they can write things and send messages to the little boy, and he sends messages back to them. And every night at midnight, everything magical in their asylum room gets wiped, so that, you know, they can't create too many magical effects to escape, whatever. But things, they have this little box they can put stuff in that's like a lead box that doesn't, it's not subject to the wipes. Anything in the box doesn't get wiped. So everything they have that's important, little clues that I want, I have them put them in this box. So in this, they go into the cave again. This time they know, they get the same clue. They read the little halfling runes. They're like, oh, maybe I'll actually use comprehend language this time, so I'll know what these runes say. Because he had written the runes down the last time, he didn't know what they said. He casts comprehend languages. He realizes that Aloath means gatekeeper. So now they know the big frog guy with Aloath written on his head, he is the gatekeeper. He is the gate maker. And they know the clue says without water, the gate maker can't be. So like, oh, they know that there's water or these things. And like, oh, maybe there's something to do with the water. We have to stop the water to stop him. And like, oh, I don't know. So what he does, he writes with a pencil. Sometimes there was a part in this game where they spiders, all these like mental things would come at them, like spiders and like these little eyeballs and like little things would come out of the wall that manifest. Like it's like their minds manifesting these bad things. And at one point, they took the pencil and they wrote on the rug, and that said, "The spiders are not real." And they realized that pencil makes magical effects. So if they stood on the rug, the spiders were not real to their minds, but the spiders would disappear, the eyeballs would disappear. So they could use this pencil to write magical things. They don't even know exactly how it worked. They know this pencil has magical properties because things they write can come to be. So anyway, so the human wizard this time, human psionic, who, you know, has the pencil, he knows there's issues. He knows there's something to do with the gate maker. He knows that the little things, the little ones, he determines that their rune says collectors. We know there's collectors and there's gatekeepers. And they realize that the little collectors are collecting minnows and food to bring to the gatekeeper, and then he takes them out of their mouth and he eats them. So our human wizard takes the pencil and he writes Aloath on his forehead with the magic pencil before they go into this cave. And I was like, okay. So they come into the cave again like before, and they interact with these little grungs. They know if these little grungs, if they don't mess with them and they don't step on the little crystals, the grungs are not going to bother them. They're fine. So they avoid the crystals very carefully, and they try not to go to the grung. And as he approaches this grung and he says hello to him, the grung looks at him, looks at the Aloath on his head, the gatekeeper, and he thinks that the sorcerer is the gatekeeper. So he spits all of his minnows out right at because usually they go to the gatekeeper and they spit out their minnows into his mouth and he eats them. So he spits them at the wizard just because it was just funny. And they used to cover in all these minnows. They're like, oh, and whatever. And they're like, oh, it was just disgusting, you know. So it was just a funny way to, you know, interact with what the things that they were doing. So they proceed forward. They get into the big chamber again, where here's the big monster again. Here's the big giant gatekeeper. It's a big giant frog creature that I made. He has a spit attack. He has some bites, you know, and some jumping slams and stuff that he has. Just a big giant frog creature, basically. And now they know, as you can see, they're kind of tethered. Oh, what do we do with these water? We have to stop these water things from flowing. And there's little rocks, and they're like, we're too weak to push these rocks. And I'm like, well, they're not that big a rock. It doesn't take much to stop this water, you know. Or I figured like I thought they have a ray of frost, anything ice, I was gonna have ice stop them, or if they forced attack the cave, it would crumble down and stop. There was a lot of ways that I had in my mind that they could stop these water flows. They just had to figure them out, or they had to figure out their own. And now this time they kind of know that's the goal. They have to not agitate the little frogs, by not stepping on the needles, and they have to hit this big guy with electricity, because they know if they hit him with electricity, it drops him down to only being able to spit and move a little bit and spit. He can't do all his attacks and jump, big jumps, and like engulf them and all the stuff that he can do. They know if they hit him with electricity, it weakens him. But it also weakens all the little grungs. They get weaker and weaker every time they hit him with electricity. They lose a hit point, and they only have 10. So if they do this 10 rounds, if they hit him with electricity 10 times, all the frog guys are going to die. And they don't want to kill the frogs. They just want to solve this puzzle. So they start to separate. You know, they start to go. They got a plan this time, because last time, you know, they got TPK'd. So they need to really be careful this time. And they're like, don't step on the needles. You know, they start to go. The frog comes at him. The sorcerer hits him with electricity, slows him. And so one of them goes and starts distracting the frog. The wizard, human scion wizard, just goes right in and starts attacking the frog, while the shadow sorcerer goes that way, the hexblade goes that way. They kind of separate and get as much distance between them as they can. And they eventually, the warlock over here ends up pushing a rock into this stream. And when he pushes the rock in, it stops the stream. And I kind of draw a little line to show that it's blocked. And they got one. They stopped one. They actually know they can stop these things. Now the shadow sorcerer's over here, not very strong. It doesn't take much to move a rock. It's a little tiny rock. It takes a good roll of 10. Which, for the strength that they have, is not that good. So she's dealing with the frog. She's like, oh crap, the frog comes at her. She cannot move the rock, and this thing's on her. While that happens, the warlock manages to get up here into the north, stops another one. He takes this big giant root here, this tree, and yanks it into the water. And it stops the flow. 2 down, 3 to go. They're still fighting. They're losing their hit point. Now, as this is going on, they're still taking spit attacks from this frog. They're not very strong. They're getting annihilated. They move along. They move around. The frog sees that the hexblade's a threat that's stopping all of his things. If he turns away from the shadow sorcerer, who has been unable to stop and move a rock, he comes after the hexblade. The hexblade puts another rock down. The hexblade is doing a really good job of stopping these things and maneuvering and staying away. And the human wizards, hitting it, pelting it with electricity. They're doing everything they can. She comes back to attack it, and they still have to deal like 200 hit points to this thing. They can't just stop the water. They have to do the hit point damage and then kill it. At a certain point, they end up getting the 200 hit points onto him. But he's still up because they haven't stopped the water. And they realize, we really got to stop this water. He's not going to die unless we stop these flow of water. So, they move around. They finally get the 4th one. They are really hurting at this point, and they've already been TPK'd once. The sorcerer breaks away. She's like, I'm going to take this attack of opportunity. I have no choice. She disengages, runs over here. Or the human wizard finally gets around the edge here, and he is able to stop that flow. And as soon as he stops that flow of water, the pool dries up. The gatekeeper disappears. And this glowing thing rises up from the pool, those glowing blue crystals, and they can go and grab these crystals. And now that they have these crystals, they realize as long as they're holding the crystals, they can now get out of their asylum room. There's a whole new game that's open wide up now, because they can actually explore in different ways. They can explore the actual real world of this game and not just these dream sequences. So now we have this twofold game that's going on. I'll do a video about their little escapade of escaping their room, because that was kind of hilarious. So this was a second attempt at a puzzle encounter where they got TPK'd the first time. The nature of the game allowed that to be okay, and they got a second chance at this encounter, which still was not easy. Even knowing what to do, it was still tough. But they persevered. It was really exciting, and they had fun. They finally, there was a very good achievement, because they had already, this thing had murdered them, and now they had defeated it, and they killed it. And the added bonus of they can now leave the room. They're not trapped in their asylum room, even though they can't get caught with these things. They can't get caught with these keys, or the keys will change, and they'll be useless. So it's a very delicate situation they're in now. They are able to escape their room, but they're still in a giant asylum with a bunch of doors that they can't stop. So I hope this encounter, part 2, kind of shows you how things can go wrong and how they can go right, and how you can get a second attempt. That's not every game allows you to get a second attempt like this one. Just this game, the nature of this game, I happen to be able to kill people and have it not be permanent. But this is it was a really cool puzzle encounter that hopefully you can kind of help see how to make a puzzle encounter, how to foreshadow it, how sometimes foreshadowing is not enough. Sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you have to be less subtle, more direct. Sometimes being direct, like, dudes, you got to, there's a clue, follow the clue. Where they're like, we're gonna kill this thing. It's like, no, you're not. And they realize the hard way that, we have to do this. We have to have a different strategy. So I hope that was interesting. Or help you find something to make in your own game. We are Omniverse Gamers. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Hope to see you soon, and keep on gaming.